In the city of Sunnyvale, there lived a young man named Mavic Carter. Mavic was a millionaire. He owned a big house, a shiny sports car, and had lots of money in the bank. But Mavic had a problem. He wasn't sure if his girlfriend, Amanda, truly loved him for who he was, or if she only loved his money. Amanda was kind, funny, and beautiful. She always smiled when they were together. But sometimes Mavic noticed she seemed very excited about the gifts he gave her, like expensive jewelry or designer clothes. Mavic wondered, does she love me or does she love what I can give her? One day Mavic came up with a plan. He decided to test Amanda's love. He would pretend to be poor and see how she treated him. Mavic went to a costume store and bought some old ragged clothes. He rolled in dirt to make himself look even messier. He hid his fancy car and wore an old hat to cover his face. Then he went to meet Amanda at the park, carrying a small bag with some bread and water. When Amanda arrived, she looked confused. "Mavic, what happened to you?" she asked, her eyes wide. Mavic sighed and said, "Amanda, I've lost all my money. My business failed, and now I'm poor." He wanted to see her reaction. Amanda's smile faded. She hesitated before speaking. "Oh, that's really sad," she said quietly. Mavic watched her closely. "Will you still stay with me, even though I can't buy you nice things anymore?" he asked. Amanda bit her lip. "I need to think about it," she said, standing up. I'll call you later." As she walked away, Mavic's heart felt heavy, but he wasn't sure yet. Maybe she just needed time to process the news. He decided to give her a chance. That evening, Mavic sat on a bench near his house, still in his disguise. Suddenly, he saw Amanda walking by with another man. The man was dressed in a sharp suit and carried a shiny briefcase. They were laughing together. Mavic's chest tightened. He wanted to follow them but didn't want to be seen. Instead, he waited and watched from the shadows. What Mavic didn't know was that Amanda had her own plan. She had noticed something strange about Mavic's behavior and wanted to find out the truth. The man she was with wasn't a new boyfriend. He was someone who could help her uncover Mavic's secret. The next day, Mavic decided to push his test further. He went to Amanda's favorite cafe, still dressed as a beggar. He sat outside with a sign that read, "Hungry and need help." He wanted to see if Amanda would stop and talk to him. Amanda arrived at the cafe with her usual bright smile. She ordered her favorite drink and stepped outside. When she saw Mavic sitting there, her eyes widened. But instead of walking past, she stopped. "Mavic," she whispered, crouching down. "Why are you doing this?" Mavic stayed in character. "This is my life now, Amanda. I've lost everything. Can you spare a little kindness?" Amanda reached into her bag and handed him her drink. "Here," she said softly. "But I need to talk to you. Something's not right." Mavic's heart skipped a beat. Was she on to him? He nodded and Amanda sat down beside him on the curb. "You've been acting so strange lately," she said. "And now this? What's really going on, Mavic?" Mavic hesitated, unsure if he should reveal his plan or keep the test going a little longer. Just then, the man in the sharp suit walked by again, glancing at them. Amanda noticed him and stood up quickly. "Stay here," she told Mavic and hurried after the man. Mavic watched as they talked in hushed tones, his curiosity growing. Who was this man? And what was Amanda up to? Amanda returned a few minutes later, her face serious. She sat down next to Mavic again and whispered, "Mavic, I know this isn't real. I've been trying to figure out what you're doing, and I think it's time you tell me the truth." Mavic's heart raced. Before he could respond, the man in the sharp suit reappeared and approached them. He looked directly at Mavic and said, "Mr. Carter, it's time to end this charade." Amanda gasped. "Mr. Carter, Mavic, what is going on?" Mavic realized his plan was falling apart. He sighed deeply and said, "Amanda, I need to explain everything. But first, let's go somewhere private." They walked to a quiet corner of the park, far from the bustling crowds. Amanda's eyes were filled with questions, and Mavic knew he owed her the truth. The man in the sharp suit followed silently, his presence adding to the tension. "Amanda," Mavic began, "I had to know if you loved me for me, not for my money. That's why I did this. I pretended to lose everything to see how you'd react." Amanda's mouth fell open. You lied to me? All of this was just a test?" Mavic nodded, his face full of regret. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I just needed to be sure. Before Amanda could respond, the man in the sharp suit stepped forward. Miss Amanda, he said in a calm voice, I'm Mr. Carter's assistant. I was asked to watch over this experiment and ensure everything went smoothly. But now it's clear that the situation has become more complicated. Amanda turned to the assistant, her expression sharp. Complicated? You think this is some kind of game? My feelings are not something you can test like this. Mavic reached for her hand, but Amanda stepped back. Amanda, please. I know it was wrong, but I care about you so much, and I was scared. Scared that you might not feel the same way. Amanda's eyes softened for a moment, but she quickly looked away. Mavic, I don't know if I can trust you now. This whole thing feels cruel. Mavic's heart sank. Amanda, give me a chance to make it right. I'll do whatever it takes. She stood silently, her thoughts racing. Finally, she said, I need time to think, Mavic. This isn't something I can just forgive overnight. With that, Amanda turned and walked away, leaving Mavic standing there, the weight of his actions pressing heavily on his shoulders. The man in the sharp suit placed a hand on Mavic's shoulder. Mr. Carter, you may have gotten your answer, but at what cost? Mavic didn't respond. He knew the road to repairing what he had broken would be long, but he was determined to try. A week later, Mavic decided to take action. He gathered all the memories they had shared, photos, letters, and trinkets, and created a scrapbook titled The Reasons I Fell in Love with You. Along with it, he wrote a heartfelt letter expressing his deepest regret and his promise to rebuild the trust he had shattered. He sent the package to Amanda with a single note. Whenever you're ready to talk, I'll be waiting. Amanda received the package and spent hours going through it. She laughed at the memories, cried at Mavic's words, and thought deeply about their relationship. She realized that while Mavic had made a terrible mistake, his love for her was genuine. She decided it was time to meet him and talk. They met at the same park where it all began. Mavic was waiting nervously, holding a small bouquet of daisies, her favorite flower. When Amanda arrived, she took a deep breath and said, Mavic, I've been thinking a lot. What you did hurt me deeply. But I also know that love isn't about perfection. It's about growing together. Mavic's eyes lit up with hope. Amanda, I'll spend every day proving to you that I'm worthy of your trust. No more tests, no more doubts. Just us. Amanda smiled faintly. It won't be easy, Mavic, but I'm willing to try if you are. Mavic nodded. I'll never take you for granted again. As they walked through the park, hand in hand, both knew that their journey together was far from over, but they were ready to face it. Together. Moral of the story: love is built on trust, honesty, and understanding. Testing someone's love with deception can harm the very bond you're trying to protect. True love is about open communication and accepting each other for who you are. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, don't hesitate to like the video and share it with your friends too. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for more fascinating stories. Have a nice day.